Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Chaverin, I'm Moreh Rapha'Yah. We are going to go ahead and start this amazing Torah portion, Parashat Tazria. In this Torah portion, we will discuss various things. The first one is how in the world the mother can actually go through this process of pregnancy. We will talk about the bearing of the baby, and we're talking about also the situation when it comes to the 9 months pregnancy and also the bearing of the baby at the moment of birth. We also are going to talk about the period of time that the mother has to be apart from the temple, from the Mikdash, and we will talk about the period of purification, the Nidat in Hebrew. So before we start jumping all these themes and much more, I'm going to ask you, if you have not subscribed, please do so you can get the latest production. Let's jump in. In this Torah portion, as we discussed before, it really talks about a lot of things that the mother has to go through, and not only that, the baby as well. But first, let's jump into the Torah portion. We find it in Leviticus or Vayikra 12 verse 1 all the way to 13 verse 59. The Leo 1 says or reads as follows. Yahweh spoke to Moshe saying, speak to the children of Israel saying, when a woman conceives and gives birth to a male child, she shall be clean for 7 days. She shall be clean as Nidah during the time of her menstrual period. This menstrual period has to be a certain time of separation. The word for nidah is translated as separation, impurity, and cleanness. So let's go into Isaiah 66:7. Look at what it says here. Before she went in labor, she gave birth. Before her pains came, she delivered a son. It is a process that the woman has to go through in a period of pregnancy. This period of pregnancy pretty much covers all the bases. The basis when it comes to giving this precise time of the baby being grown in the mother's womb, and the process that the mother has to go through. Either she has to go through a certain diet, which I seriously doubt, because usually women, they eat everything, right? Also, blood test, doctors to see what's going on with the baby inside. It's a period of everything. But if you really notice how things change when it comes to the animal kingdom, and let me make a comparison about that. If you really think about the mammals, like deers, cows, and so forth, the female animals, usually they don't have to go through so much. They just get pregnant, certain time for the pregnancy, and then they just give birth, and that's it. Even the baby's like just shaking it off. That tells us and bring us back all the way to Genesis chapter 3. Look what it says here. 3:16 of Bereshit, and the woman, he said, I will greatly multiply your pains in childbearing. With pain you shall bring forth children. And that is so true, because only humans can actually experience this when it comes to women. The female, she has to go through that pain of laboring. The female animals don't do that. They just give birth and that's it. They don't have to go through much. And not as women. Women, they really have to go through so much pain, because the Creator gave this judgment to human, female, to go through this. And that's because of the sin of our mother Chava. Now, let's continue with something amazing. Let's go back to the Torah portion. On the 8th day of the foreskin of the prepuce shall be cut, which is what is called today the Brit Milah, the circumcision. She should remain in a state of purification from the blood from 33 days. She shall not touch anything that is set apart or kodesh, nor shall be in the presence of the temple until her period of purification is completed. Here we have to understand 33 plus 7. 7 days of separation plus another 33. Question is for you guys, and please write it down when I ask this. Where does the Brit Milah or the circumcision takes place? On the 7 or on the 33? And the answer is on the 33. After the 7th comes the 8th. From that moment on, you start counting 33 days more. 33 plus 7 is 40 days for a male. On the 8th day, once again, you start counting. It will give you 33 days. So, very important keynote. Now, let me ask you another thing. This 33 days has a lot to do with Mashiach. And let me ask you this. On these 33 days, Mashiach in the Torah, and also as him fulfilling every prophecy that it was leading up to him. Luke, the book of Luke 3:23, and Yahushua himself, when he began his ministry or his avodah, was about 30 years old. This 30 years old, the son of Yahushua, the son of Eli. The reason why I bring this up is because when his ministry, his avodah, his service started, he was 30. When he did the immersion, he was 30. His ministry lasted 3 years with his talmidim, his disciples. When he died, he died of 33. Exactly as the scripture says that he was going to pay with blood on the 33 days, 33 years. Amazing, because all this is leading up to Mashiach the entire time. It's all codified in the scriptures. And let me go a little bit farther. When it comes to the Mashiach fulfilling every single prophecy, I'm going to switch a little bit into different speed mode. And when it comes to the mother bearing the baby, usually when the baby comes out, there is blood and water. Okay, those two things are very important. I'm going to bring this back to the Torah. Look at what the book of Numbers, or Bat Midbar 20 verse 11, when Moshe raised his hands and struck the rock with his staff twice, water flowed abundantly, and the congregation and the livestock drank. That's what the Torah says. But if we go into the Aramaic version of this verse, look at what this amazing verse speaks of. Something came out first before the waters, and it was blood. Blood came first and then the water. The Targum Yonatan of this very verse, Moshe raised his hand, and when he struck the rock twice, the first time he shed blood, but the second time a multitude of water flowed forth, and the congregation and the livestock drank. Amazing, amazing verse. In this verse, we can actually see how Mashiach fulfills the Torah to the letter. How do we know that? Because the Chronicles of Yahushua, what is called today the Gospels, tells about our Mashiach fulfilling every letter. Look what it says here. Luke 22, verse 44. And in great anguish, he prayed with more intensity, and his sweat became like drops of blood falling to the ground. The sweat is supposed to be water, right? It became blood. Do you see that? Now, do you want another or more evidence? Absolutely. Let's go when he was already dead at the stake, what is called today the cross. John 19, verse 33, when they came to Yeshua and they saw that he was already dead, they did not break his legs. However, one of the soldiers pierced his side with a spear, and what did come out from him? And immediately blood and water flowed out. Exactly as the Torah stated in that very rock, that alludes to Mashiach in the future. Here is fulfilling to the letter. Now look what John says about this much. First of John 5 verse 6. He is the one who came by water and blood. Yeshua HaMashiach, not by water only, but water and blood. And the Ruah HaKodesh bear witness. The inspiration of Yahweh bear witness of all this, because he's the Ruach of Emet. He's the inspiration of truth. Yahweh is about truth. But what does all this mean to us today? Because remember, we study the Torah, we study the things of the Creator, we study how the Creator speaks to us in a certain way, in a certain tongue, in a certain matter, in a certain principle. But we need to find out the meaning behind every word. When it comes to festivals of the Creator, when it comes to the festivals of our Almighty, it comes at the very single question is, what does all this mean? Especially when it comes to the festivals. Let's find out. Let's continue in that very verse. It says, John 5, 7, and 8. And there are three witnesses. The Spirit, which is the Ruach, the water, and the blood. And these three agreed. These three are bearing witness. Question is, the Spirit, the water, and the blood. What is all that has to do with the festivals, the Chagim of our Almighty Yahweh? And the answer is, let's go one by one. The blood signifies the festival of Pesach, Passover. The Ruach signifies or alludes to the festival of Shavuot. Very clear. On that 19 and 20 of Exodus, Yahweh says, this is Shavuot, on the third month and the third day. And exactly what happens with his disciples in chapter 2 of book of Acts. The Ruach HaKodesh came down. What about the water? The water leads up to the coming Chagim, the coming festival of Sukkot. Why? Because we all know, those who keep the festivals, we know that the Feast of Sukkot, we ask for water, we ask for blessings. And not only that, in the first century, the Kohen HaGadol, the high official, came down all the way to the waters of Siloam. And he got water and he waved the waters because something miraculous was going to happen. All this, once again, it has a lot to do with the festivals. And our forefathers, our ancient forefathers, they knew about all this. I didn't want to bring too much, but the essence of this Torah portion leads up to prophecy. It is fulfilled to Mashiach to the very letter. We have to understand that so many things are coming right now to earth, a lot of signs, but don't be deceived, because once again we are living on the very last era, the last Jubel, the last Jubilee, the last generation. We must step fast to what's coming soon. Let's hang on to the garments of Mashiach and let's continue keeping Torah. I'm Moreh Rapha'Yah. Shabbat Shalom. We'll see you next time. By the way, I'm going to give announcements. Coming up next week is the feast of Yom Kippurim. which will fall into Tuesday night, Wednesday all day. That will be the 10th of the 7th month. Be advised, this is a great day, the same as the rest of the festivals. We must keep an eye in every single festival and to observe it, not just to keep an eye, but to observe this day because Yahweh's command. We'll see you next time. Shabbat Shalom.
Again.
Toda Rabba. If you like this video, please give us a like and subscribe to our channel. There's more content in production. Thank you.